So my name is Wollombi Valley Progress Association. Our aim is to find out more information about this proposed Wollombi exploration licence. That John Eadie assisted with the coal seam gas issue, and we have Keith Williams here today also to speak.
197 square kilometres of this lease sits on very precious Aboriginal land. So Andrew suggests, based on the rugged terrain out there, that this mine, if it's approved, will be an underground longwall mine. And the principal impacts from his perspective are fracturing of the rock for a considerable distance above the actual mine itself, possibly up to 20 to 30 metres. Subsidence of the ground, typically 1 to 2 metres as the mine is advanced. Fracturing has a significant probability of changing water flow paths through the rock. There is also the potential for there being an unplanned event in which there could be a significant subsidence over the area, and this subsidence would affect any structures within the zone of influence of the unplanned event, as well as changes to the groundwater flow paths. Bulga underground mine began operating in 1992 and ceased operating in 2018. There was a huge investment in the infrastructure. During its operation, it was one of Australia's highest producing underground mines. It appears from the Bulga open cut and underground mine that there is a direct route to this coal seam that is covered by this lease. Glencore are in a very simple position, if they choose, to start excavating through that coal seam, under Broke, and then into the lease area that we're discussing here. On the government's part for the mine in Wollombi is that all of that coal would be for export.
So the first thing you can say about the Australian coal industry is all of the coal companies are doing it really tough. So all of these companies have got these take or pay contracts. So if they don't produce coal, they're still paying a lot of money for access to rail and port, which means that most of the companies have just kept on producing, even though they're losing lots and lots of money in doing that work. And you've got the International Energy Association saying very stridently that there must be no more coal plants built. The world must use this COVID disaster to get out and get decarbonised and use the money that's got to be spent to do that. But you're beginning to see solar and wind companies looking at and saying, you know, there are power connections, there's a grid link up, you're going to close your coal plants, so we'll build a renewable energy facility and use those connections. And every time you turn on a new solar facility, every time a new wind farm starts, it's almost certainly going to turn off a coal plant. Gas is the thing that's trying to play intermediate. Now we've got this hydrogen lobby, right? And I'm thinking that the hydrogen lobby is all about the gas industry trying to stay alive, because what they're trying to do is spike gas lines with 5% clean hydrogen, in some ways making that gas then clean or something like that. So it's complete madness. The court cases against Exxon, it's dozens of court cases in the US now having to go at Exxon. It's partly because anyone that pays attention to global warming knows that we only have 10 years. If we haven't reduced emissions by about 50% by 2030, then it's over. We're stuffed.
Keith's talked about the impact of the coal market on the proposition that the government has of opening a coal mine in Wollombi. It's got royalties from coal brought in $2 billion in 2018 and 19. I don't think any of us should actually be thinking, well, the market is so stuffed, there'll never be a coal mine in Wollombi. I think we need to remain vigilant.
I
last night went to hear Marion Wilkinson talk about her new book, Carbon Clubs. If I understood, it was not so much about my carbon club, she called it, was changing its tactics from contesting the scientific debate to having much more subtle arguments about this is a transition strategy. You know, this is not going to last very long, we'll just get what we can and it will all be over.
The issue that's happened is that we've had successive people move from the coal industry or fossil fuel industries into government, and they're the ones that are writing these white papers. So you don't end up having anybody really interested when you have that attachment in government of people coming from the fossil fuel industry. So what I ask is the question of where does change happen? It happens from community. It happens from a Mike Cannon Brooks suddenly building the biggest battery and putting it in South Australia. It's not going to happen because the government is going to do it, because the government is too attached to coal. It will happen because if communities undertake this kind of initiative.